hello to all of you watching out there on ParadoxPowerPlays. It's SSF here, and there's been quite a big announcement that's happened today. The announcement of Sonic Lost Worlds' gameplay elements, and a new trailer has come out. You guys probably just seen the trailer, if not from IGN, or from our little video here.
If you haven't seen it yet, it will be playing in the thumbnail here for you to watch. It might not just have the sound though, so be sure to check out the video.
Indeed.
Yep. So, yeah. So what's all this for? Well, we get to talk about how we feel about this whole thing, and you guys get to watch and just sit pretty and make how you will of it. So, but, you know, it's not just me here. If you haven't noticed, there's actually quite a few people here. We have, CosmicEternity.
Hi.
We have CelestOrion.
Yep.
We have Dr. Mack Foxx.
Greetings and salutations.
And we have, ironically, although this is a very vocal thing, it's SilentlyVocal.
I know, it's contradictions!
Hey there.
Okay, so I'm gonna actually go first, because I'm going to bring up one of the biggest things that's on people's minds is, this looks like Super Mario Galaxy. Yeah, sure, but the Galaxy games worked well for me.
Very much agree.
I don't think it's really Galaxy per se. I mean,
actually, where do you think we should start with this? We can start with how it looks like Galaxy, we can start with the Nintendo elements, we can start with the Guardians. The Guardians I actually am so far not liking their inclusion. To me, it feels really out of place.
They do seem out of their element.
Incredibly. Incredibly. And there's actually no way that I can sugarcoat that at all.
I don't think they look too terrible, but I agree.
They don't look bad, but...
Yeah, they kind of look a little misplaced.
Exactly! That's what I'm saying, is like, what... I feel like this... I almost feel like it probably would have worked well. You know what, now that I'm thinking about it, I wonder if, because obviously we haven't seen Eggman. So I'm wondering if what happened is Eggman went to this world, if you will, and started fucking things up, and these Guardians got pissed off. That might be their inclusion. Like, they might have nothing to do with the Sonic thing at all. I mean, they might just be pissed off because this is their territory, and it's being fucked up.
It's Mario's iron muscle.
Or that could not be it at all. I really don't know. To me, right now, they seem incredibly misplaced.
Well,
Hiya, Sonic, we're a bunch of random monsters.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I can say this much. I'm not sure, like, how many of you have actually read the IGN article related to Lost Worlds, but the story itself was actually mentioned in the article, and it did state that, simply put, Sonic was chasing Eggman, and he encounters a mysterious floating island known as Lost Hex, and that's where he runs into these Guardians.
Right, that's kind of what I was just saying, and I haven't even read the article.
Yeah. It's...
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, if anything, I think it's at least better than having a bunch of new recolor characters.
Well, of course, that's true.
Yeah.
And before Sinnoh becomes a playable character in Lost Worlds.
Oh, God.
So we should hack it when it comes out. Do a Paradox special. You can play Sinnoh instead of Sonic.
Oh, boy.
Do it.
It's Lost Worlds spelled backwards. Yeah.
How do you even spell that? Hang on, I'm typing it in Skype.
Oh god. But yeah, it's looking to be a very interesting game. It's probably the most cartoony Sonic game I've seen in quite a few years. I mean...
Oh yeah.
Mean Bean Machine comes to mind. Based off the Adventures of Sonic the Hedgehog character designs.
Dilro's soul is apparently Lost World.
Lost World.
Okay, so let me...
And before the Chinese make a knockoff of that. that.
Right.
Oh boy.
Let me get into the Nintendo aspects because I have a lot to say about it. First off, I really feel like a lot of the fans, because they're the fandom, but they're getting their panties in a bunch about this whole Nintendo Sega thing. And I mean, first of all, you have to keep in mind that Sega stopped making systems. We all know this. And this is not the first time in Sega's history that they've done Nintendo exclusives. So why are we getting pissed off now? And I just hate how everybody bags on the fact that Nintendo games are this, Nintendo games are that. I'm a heavy Nintendo game player. Nintendo games are fucking good. I mean, everyone's, like I was saying earlier before we started this call up, is that with the controls, a lot of people recently have been complaining about the controls. Even me, for new Sonic games at least. Even me, I have a hard time playing the new Generations games, you know, not Sonic Generations, but the recent gen, because the controls are hard. So what Sega actually just did is they took their bad controls and just put it in the hands of somebody who knows who the fuck they're doing with controls.
Yeah.
As this looks like Super Mario Galaxy, the controls for Super Mario Galaxy worked.
They were pretty solid.
Worked. Exactly.
Yeah.
There was nothing wrong with them. I mean, Galaxy 2 was a little bit different. Like, Yoshi's controls for Galaxy 2 were just fucking unplayable. So, I mean, yeah, Nintendo's got its imperfections, but I'm just sitting here and I'm like, why are we all being such an ass about this? I mean, it seems like every time there's a new system, or every time there's a new game, no one has anything positive to say about it. Why can't you just be excited for something new? I'm excited for this.
I guess the main complaint is just the fact that since it's going to be a Nintendo exclusive, it's going to be on Nintendo consoles only, which can be hard for a lot of people to really want to deal with, because, you know, I would have preferred to have a PC port or something. But
yeah, but you know what? There could be a reason for that, because now that I think about it, of course all this stuff comes up when we're talking about it, which is kind of why we're doing this, is what if they're doing a certain game element that can only work on these systems?
Yeah, that too, like with the touchpad and everything.
That's a possibility.
I will say this much, for the most part, it seems that people are liking this, but there are quite a few, there are also quite a few people that are harping on the graphics because they're not detailed enough. People are harping on,
bullshit.
Seriously,
it's just trailer graphics. We don't know what we're gonna
get about.
Okay, I'm actually gonna reread something I put in Skype, and I saw this on a Sonic blog on Tumblr, and it was through an anonymous ask. So, if this was what you said before, kudos to you, whoever this was. And I quote, "Some people seem to be complaining that the tone of the game is too lighthearted and kiddie. Honestly, however, I think as long as the game and story is good, that really shouldn't matter. After all, Sonic is a series about a blue hedgehog who runs fast. It's never going to be grid-marked realistic Warhammer 40,000 or Call of Duty, no matter how hard the Shadow the Hedgehog game tried to be."
I think the most realistic interpretation we've gotten of Sonic was the Sonic fan film, and we kind of know how that turned out.
Yeah, let's not even get into that.
Yeah,
you know,
we're not even gonna touch that one.
Now that I think about it, with this is reminding me a lot about Sonic Colors. Like the graphics and kind of how the characters moved. It looked a lot like Sonic Colors to me, and Sonic Colors was a good fucking game.
Yeah, Sonic Colors was very good.
Then you'll like this game just as much, because not only has it been confirmed that that there will be Red Rings returning, but the Wisps are returning too.
Right, which kind of makes sense, because if he's, I mean, now that I think about it, what if this is kind of, it might not be canon, but this could technically be set after Sonic Colors.
A sequel.
Yeah, something like that.
A direct sequel of some kind, perhaps.
Be kind of cool.
Yeah, I mean, now that you think about it, I mean, this was all done in space. If he's still in space, what if Eggman ran off after Sonic Colors, because we all know that he did.
Well, what happened in between Sonic Colors and Generations is while he was flung in space, he found the time meter, so he would have had to hop out of that dimensional breach he was in at the end of Generations.
I mean, so it's still possible though. It can, because even with Generations, there's still a space in there that you can be in space.
No matter how badly Robotnik messes up, he always finds a way to come back.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, the Death Egg at the end of Sonic 2 completely blew up with him inside it, so...
Oh dear, I'm lost out here in the middle of outer space. Only Sega's writers can save me now.
Yeah.
Now I'm just thinking about it though, because like, I'm wondering how. I guess I'm just looking forward to it. Like it's hard for me because I don't want to sound like I'm one of those fans that wants Sonic Adventure 3, but I loved the adventure games and I loved the way they played. I loved how you could have multiple characters. I loved how there was, multiple music styles for every single character. I would like to see that back.
I feel like I would start a flame war if I personally said that Sonic 06 was Sonic Adventure 3.
Kind of was.
So, it covered everything that the Adventures did. You had all your characters. But, that's its own flame war in itself, so I'm not going to dive into that
I know, but I kind
Let's
of have
put that back in the
that.
vault where it belongs.
Right.
Honestly, if there was a Sonic Adventure 3, I could see, I could see it being good, but I can see the fan base not being good, and that's where
the fan base isn't even good for Lost Worlds right now.
No, they're complaining about the graphics. They're complaining that Sonic's the only playable character, which we know.
Why are they complaining about the graphics? First of all, they haven't even announced whether Sonic is or is not the only playable character.
There's another thing I want to say, and that is this is just trailer graphics. We're not seeing necessarily a finished product here. There's no.
No, we're not.
Yeah,
we're absolutely correct. And that's what I was just about to say before you continue, Donnie. Is that the trailer just fucking released today?
Yeah.
This is the first trailer. They don't even have a fucking demo out yet, and we're already judging it.
I'm thinking about Aliens Colonial Marines, for example, and that turned out being quite the opposite, whereas the trailers looked great, but then the game turned out to be a sack of failure.
Right. But anyways, what were you gonna say, Donnie?
I can confirm that indeed Sonic is the only playable character. However, characters such as Tails, Knuckles, Amy, and them, they will be showing up throughout the story and interacting with Sonic.
Hey, there was that other. I thought I heard wind of that there was another Sonic game that was yet to be announced. Or was that the Olympics? I thought that I heard that there was the Olympics, there was now Lost World, and then there was another Sonic game in the works.
I think that might be after this, though.
Well, correct, of course.
There are 3 Sonic titles that have been confirmed that Sega and Nintendo are allied on. The first one was Lost Worlds, the second one was Winter Olympics 2, Mario and Sonic Winter Olympics 2, and the third one, although it's been rumored, is some kind of, it's somewhat like some kind of racing game.
It was that Mario Kart thing.
It was a racing game, crossover between Mario and Sonic characters.
Personally, I personally
think it would work.
I hope they go by ASRT rules for that racing game as opposed to Mario Kart.
Well, see, the thing with Mario Kart is, for Christmas, I was accidentally given Mario Kart 7, I think it was, the one for 3DS. I was accidentally given that instead of 3D Land, which I asked for, and let me tell you, I'm glad that I was accidentally given it, because I was incredibly impressed. I was very, very impressed with Mario Kart 7. The graphics were phenomenal. The racing was fine. I absolutely loved it. I really did.
I will say this much. When it comes to Mario Kart 7, it's good for its own, right? But I still think it had some stuff to work on. But what game doesn't?
Yeah.
Of course.
But,
I personally think because both Sega and Nintendo are great game makers, and if they can pile their heads together, truly work together, they can seriously bring out the best in each other.
Agreed.
Oh yeah,
We seriously
definitely.
could. And we could, who knows? I'm just being positive because a lot of the fans aren't being positive, but me, I'm trying to be positive about this. What if this could be one of the best games that some of us have ever played?
It's
Now
quite possible.
that's a pretty huge expectation. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily expecting that, but you can't necessarily not think that either. I mean, like I said, these are two great game makers.
It's quite possible we've got a really strong title on our hands. And that's
Exactly,
something the Wii U
exactly.
desperately needs right now.
And I mean, it does desperately need it. And if it goes to shit again, well. I mean, but like you said, I guess I really hope that doesn't happen because, like you just said, Mac, Sonic needs a strong title.
Sonic hasn't had a major game release in a while now. Generations was great. Expectations are high again. They need to deliver.
It's really hard for me to keep saying Sonic needs to go away, Sonic needs to end, Sonic this. It's like
cancer, you can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing with Call of Duty. I can sit there and argue all the time let's not start a fucking flame war in the YouTube comments. I'm just saying as an example, I can sit there and fight with you until I'm blue in the face that Call of Duty and all of those games like that should disappear, and they're not. So why are you doing that with my game?
Advanced AI that's been there since 1996. Oh, man. Shout out
Fish
to
swim
Super
away
Mario
when you move
Galaxy
towards
13
them.
for that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fish, now swim
yes.
away and you move towards them.
You know, one thing that I thought was interesting, somebody said is, Nintendo is usually really focused with their titles. Like, they take a lot of time to craft
Yes,
them
they
and
are.
make them good. And so, with expectations high again, really, that's, Sonic needs that. And
Exactly.
with them helping, then it could probably be really good.
That's what I was just saying, is that it's like they're putting themselves in the hands of somebody who knows what the fuck they're doing. I mean, Sega, as much as I love Sega's not doing so well nowadays. They're just not. And you know what? This could be a very smart move. They're not getting rid of themselves at all.
I can
But
say
this
this
could be a
much.
smart move for them to merge.
I can say this much. Nintendo's first-party software is legendary for a reason. They know what they're doing.
Exactly.
And even Nintendo's first-party software, time and time again, has proved to be a console seller.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, that's why they pretty much release a new Mario game, whether it's New Super Mario Bros. Or whatever. I mean, that's why they always release one with the systems.
Yep.
Because they're focused on them. They put all of their focus into the games, and it shows.
Well,
Oh, sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say I should note, because I know we were all wondering what the hell these 6 Guardians are going to be looking like, and we finally did get to see them in person in this trailer. I should note that although there hasn't been too much elaborated on this, but apparently they will be foes, but according to Izuka, who is the one that's producing the game, so it is Sonic Team themselves that are apparently producing this game. Whether that's exactly the same case for the 3DS version is something that I don't think we know just yet.
Of course.
But I think there is no doubt about it that the 3DS version does. We know somewhat of what the 3DS looks from the screenshots and all that. They will be doing more 3D gameplay in that now than they're not doing 2D side scrollers like they did with.
And that really excites me. Like that part alone is what really excites me. It's because even in Generations, the modern levels were still...
It was still side-scrolling, but at a slant, where you kind of could see what's coming up and everything. But the fact that they're doing the full-blown out 3D maps on this, I'm really looking forward to.
And the thing is with Nintendo is, with Nintendo games, like, even with fucking Paper Mario Sticker Star, which is a 2D game, the 3D was impressive on. What better to go to the makers of the fucking system to get the 3D to work. They could really make this 3D work. This is their goddamn system.
Yeah.
This is their system. They know what they're doing with it. They made the system.
Yep.
You know, one thing I know, like a lot of people have been saying this, is that that they're not gonna drop a lot of money for one console for one game, because the Wii U doesn't have that many games apparently. But one thing I've been thinking is, well, you know, if it doesn't have that many games apparently, you've got to start somewhere, and this is a pretty good start.
Absolutely, and it's not even just that. You've still got all of the assets that the Wii U includes. You've got the market for the Wii U, you've got the backwards compatibility, and plus the fact that the Wii U's not going away. It's not. I mean, what's gonna happen with Super Smash Bros. Whenever that comes out? That's gonna release on Wii U. You're gonna have to get it eventually.
Quite frankly, I think Nintendo's been a little bit unwise in the realm of not releasing strong titles with their new console releases, but they've made up for it. 3DS is still around.
Absolutely, and that's what matters to me, is they've strongly made up for it, because the 3DS is a perfect example. The 3DS came out from around my birthday, and there's two exact reasons why I didn't get it then, which were the two exact reasons why I got it in Christmas, is because when it came out around my birthday, there was hardly any games, and it was expensive. By Christmas, there were 7 games that I wanted, and the price had dropped.
That's why I waited to get mine as well, although in retrospect I really wish I could have gotten it sooner just for Metroid Fusion. Oh well.
But yeah, there's a little bit we already know about the story itself, as in, you know, we already talked about, you know, the general story earlier on, but apparently these deadly six that they're portraying them as is they're actually gonna have a sense of danger and humor to the story, whereas they'll be menacing, but they'll also be funny.
Right.
They look funny already.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do look funny.
But here's my hypothesis of the game so far. Okay, so Sonic and Tails and them are chasing down Eggman, and they encounter this island. Who's to say it's not going to be another Sonic 3 where Eggman's pulling the strings behind everything again?
That's a possibility.
Yeah.
These Guardians were easier to fool than that blasted echidna.
Right.
I also have a suspicion that the story is not going to revolve around the Chaos Emeralds like Sonic Color was, but there'll be like extra features where you could unlock Super Sonic as a playable later.
Well, we already know that there's going to be unlockable content in this. Not just because they added the red rings and confirmed that will have unlockable content, but you'll also get unlockable content, and this is amusing. When, at the end of every level, you'll actually be able to save critters. You'll actually be able to save flickies and stuff like that.
Right.
Just like before. But, unlike previously, the game will be tracking the amount of critters you save, and you'll get unlockable content based on that.
Oh, that's really cool. See, I like the sound of that.
Replayability doing that.
Yeah,
it's kind of like how Sonic Advance 3 did it with the Lost Chow.
Yeah, there is replayability with that. And speaking of Chow, I was actually about to bring that up. My Chow fandomness is now sad because there's probably not going to be Chow in this game. I kind of want to cry.
Yeah.
I want a Chow world back, damn it.
I hereby sacrifice these 10,000 chickens so I can unlock this video cutscene.
Another thing that this game really has going for it is that not only is there going to be a lot of replay value with unlockable content, but there's going to be a lot of replay value with alternative paths.
Right.
Because we now know that not only are we have these wisps that are going to give you take you to separate paths, but there's also going to be golden cannons that are going to take you to separate and hidden paths. There's a lot of different ways you're going to be able to get into different paths.
See, and that's another thing where Nintendo is starting to bleed out, because Nintendo does that shit a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's gonna work.
I've got high
there'll
hopes for this game.
I mean, whether there will be alternative exits that take you to different levels that you couldn't access in the main path before is something, you know, we'll have to find out for ourselves when more information on the game slowly comes out. But there's no question about it, this game is going to have plenty of alternative paths, just from hearing all the different things you can do.
Oh yeah.
And it's going to have a lot of replay value, and I wouldn't be surprised, you know, if there was Supersonic. I mean, we had it in Generations, we had it in Colors. I wouldn't be surprised.
So far, though, from what I saw from the gameplay, I mean, we've only seen one world. And that's not even a full world that we've seen. I think unless they did something specific for the gameplay of Supersonic to handle, Supersonic would probably be really fucking hard to play in that kind of gameplay, because you'd be running into shit so much.
Well, the thing is, though, is they actually fixed that.
Yeah, I saw that.
Did they?
They actually did talk about some of the controls in the game, and Sega did mention that there's going to be this new parkour system, P-A-R-K-O-U-R system, and it'll allow you to essentially dodge, allow Sonic to keep running, and you'll be able to control him without running into anything.
It's pretty much going to be like Mirror's Edge. The map is your playground.
Once again, Nintendo. They know what they're doing. I mean, I can't necessarily say that was all Nintendo but it's like, obviously Nintendo and Sega are working on this, and I had already said before, Nintendo knows what the fuck they're doing with their game controls.
Yeah.
So they were probably
I can't remember the last time Nintendo has produced a game that ended up being terrible. It's been a while.
I really don't either. Well, Galaxy 2 essentially wasn't bad, though. And for me, the controls were incredibly hard, but in a general sense,
we're talking like a
well
real
received.
stinker here, like, say, Awesome Possum, Ernest Evans. We're dredging the bottom of the barrel. When's the last time Nintendo's done something like that? Pretty much never.
Does the Virtual Boy count?
No.
No, because the software was actually good. It was just a bad system.
I don't think that any of those count. I mean, I think that we should go...
Then no.
I think that we should count systems, probably even at this point, between 2000 and 2005 is when you should start counting systems within the ranges of this.
I don't have any beef with Nintendo. I can't think of a single game so far.
And that's what pisses me off for people who do have beef with it. It's like, what? Why?
I heard that some of the DS Zelda titles were a bit lackluster, but I didn't hear that they were terrible.
They played in the Wind Waker style. I haven't really played them, but from what I saw, they weren't really bad. But since I haven't played them, I can't give a full opinion.
Likewise, from what I've seen, they look alright.
Oh yeah, they look good.
Well, I can confirm that, judging from what we know, we also know that so far, we know of 3 different zones that are going to be in this game. We already know...
Desert Ruins, Wind Hill, and something else.
We have Wind Hill, we have Desert Ruins, we know we have, Wind Hill's supposed to be idyllic and grassy.
Yeah, it's like Green Hill's own clone.
Yeah, but it's not gonna be the Wind Hill is not the one that we saw in the trailer.
Ew.
That actually could be a demo level for all we know.
No, it is a separate level. Like, Wind Hill, we have Desert Ruins, and we have what we saw in the trailer. So, we have 3 different zones already.
Okay.
The amazing thing is that Desert Ruins, it's not going to be a general theme. Like, it'll be deserts, but you're not going to have the same, like, you'll see it'll be a lot like Sweet Mountain, Desert Ruins 1.
Yeah, that's
Desert Ruins 2.
I'm thinking Sonic and Knuckles, actually. Sandopolis, the first level was outside, second part was inside a pyramid.
I hated that.
That's what I was actually gonna bring up, is that if they're gonna go a lot off of Super Mario Galaxy with this, I mean, I would be very happy if they took some influence on these levels into these levels from Super Mario Galaxy, because for those who have played Galaxy, I mean, the planets were exceptional. Each level, you had so many different places to explore, and I think my beef with some of the recent Sonic games, or Sonic levels to me, is that, I mean, I just kept seeing the same shit. This kind of allows for variance within the same level.
Can you imagine what would happen if Treasure somehow got their hands on a Sonic license and they wanted to produce a game? It'd be way out there.
But still, though, I'm taking a look at the concepts of this game and everything. The figure 8 definitely makes me think of classic Sonic. In fact, it reminds me of CD right there.
Indeed, indeed.
And another thing is the fact that you don't exactly speed up. It's more like you're shifting gears.
I'm happy that they pay homage to Green Hill, even if this is a demo, because, I mean, everyone's familiar with Green Hill, so it's a good way for people to get familiarized with the new gameplay. Because it gives them something that they're familiar with to try to get familiar with something that they're unfamiliar with, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Alrighty, we're over half an hour now. Shall we wrap things up?
Yeah, let's go ahead and wrap it up with our
Alright.
basic thoughts.
I do want to wrap it up with this, and this was another quote from on Tumblr. A couple of words to the people who are interested in Sonic Lost World. Look forward to it.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this.
Me too.
Likewise. Maybe it'll give me a real excuse to get a Wii U.
Same here.
Will be for me.
I already have a Wii U and a 3DS, so it's really not going to be an issue for me in terms of getting consoles. It's just a matter of seeing. For me, the big question for me is I already am going to get the Wii U. There's no doubt about the Wii U version. There's no doubt about it.
Right.
It's just a matter of seeing what's going to be consisting of the 3DS version. How much exclusive content is going to be in that? Is it going to be like colors where you're going to see different wisps? Is it going to be like the Olympic game titles on 3DS where you have different events? Is it going,
or could it be
like
ASRT?
Might even have different levels entirely.
Well, from what I'm...
Or perhaps, in the case of ASRT, scaling down the game to run on the 3DS hardware.
From what I'm seeing on the IGN article, because I'm now looking at it, that picture, if that's true gameplay of the 3DS, I'm looking forward to that. That's gonna be good.
And for those that have not seen the IGN article, we will have links in the description.
Yeah. Because I know I've been quoting it a lot during the course of this thing, so...
Alright, guys. Well,
Any other thoughts?
One thing I wanted to note is that from the trailer, it almost kind of reminds me a little bit of Extreme.
Well, yeah, and people had brought that up, and I think that it's fine. I mean, because Extreme looked really cool anyways, so to work with Nintendo, who has kind of worked with, because, the Super Mario Galaxy engine kind of ran in ways that Extreme did, this is giving them the perfect opportunity to bring what they wanted back so many years ago to now.
Yeah.
My personal thoughts are, don't judge this game by its cover. There's no telling what we're going to end up with.
Exactly, and if you think the Guardians look a little too childish, we still haven't seen what Eggman has in store.
Not to mention these Guardians could be like the Joker. They only look funny.
Even if it's childish, get the fuck over it. I mean, that shouldn't take away from the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say this much. We know right now that it will be released on the eShop, on the Nintendo consoles. We know it will be on the Wii U and the 3DS. And we also know it will be released in 2013. I'm 100% certain that it'll be in November 2013.
Good timing for the Christmas rush.
Yeah, that's a good guess.
Because
that is a good guess, actually, now I think about it, because that's right around Black Friday. And that's when the majority of people go Christmas shopping for their kids.
Yeah.
Not to mention that's generally the month when Sega releases their big titles for Sonic.
That is a brilliant idea. I mean, if Sega and Nintendo play their fucking cards right with this could be good.
Indeed.
This could be good.
This could very well be the best Sonic game, best-selling Sonic game, the best-selling Sonic game overall in quite a few years.
Yes, absolutely.
Indeed.
And it could very well be the thing that finally gives Sega an oomph and finally, shuts up the critics who's saying Sonic's dead and, Sonic, go be sold to Nintendo. They know what they're
that far. Critics are critics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But instead of basing your reviews on other reviews, just get the game yourself and then build a review. That's what I have to say.
Right.
Yeah. Judge for yourself. Consider others, only if you feel like you need to voice something. But
Okay.
just build your own, just get your own view and not relying on others. When it's your brain, it's your opinion, use it,
Alrighty, any other words?
I think that
Nope.
wraps
I got
things up.
nothing.
I'm just looking forward to more of this.
Well, we may know some more about this possibly tomorrow, because Sega did tease that we were supposed to be getting more information on this game on the 29th.
Cool.
So,
Information, we'll post it for sure.
yep.
Alrighty, well, I think that ties it in, so thanks for joining us.
Alright, and just remember, this was ParadoxPowerPlays wanting to bring you the Sonic news when it hits.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, this happened.
See you next time.
Bye.
Goodbye.
05.